All right. Well, welcome everyone. I am super excited to have this conversation, kick off this conversation. Now, I know that the title can be a little bit misleading because it says summer series, and obviously it is still May. However, June is right around the corner, and I'm thinking in my brain, in my mind, in my heart, and my soul, if I say summer, that this good summer weather will bless us and come in a little bit early. So, as we are kicking off, I'm excited about having this conversation. Some of you will be joining me live, and then others will be watching the replay. Either way, I'm super excited that you're here, especially if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, you're building a personal brand, you're a speaker, and you are just exhausted. You're exhausted not because you don't like the work that you do or the services that you provide to your client and customers. You're exhausted or you're frustrated or you're overwhelmed because you're always trying to figure out the next big thing, the next big product, the next big client or customer that you have to close. I really want to invite you in because I've been there, I've done that, I've got the t-shirt, I've even built a whole t-shirt company based on trying to be bigger and better, and I have found that that can be daunting, it can be overwhelming, it can be exhausting. So, my goal, my job, my duty, my part of my responsibility is to really let you know that small can be your superpower and small can be strategic, right? So, I am just curious if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, speaker, and you've ever felt the pressure to go big, make the next big move, trying to close the next big client, I want you to go ahead and type big in the comments, right? I'm just curious to know if you've ever felt that pressure, if you've ever felt big breathing down your throat or big backing you in a corner, trying to make you make a decision because social media and society has been telling us to go big for so long that we forget that small is significant as well. Go ahead and drop big in the chat box. Again, you could be joining me live or you could potentially be watching this on the replay. But let me give you a little bit of background on why I'm even having this conversation. For those of you who might not be connected with me, maybe you're meeting me through social media, maybe you've interacted with my posts, maybe we in friends, or connected either Facebook, Instagram, or even LinkedIn. My name is Quinn Conyers, and I am a TEDx speaker. I get to add that to my repertoire, as well as a conference MC. And my job is to transform average events into epic experiences. So attendees, they rave, they return, and also they recommend others to attend your future events. And last, oh my gosh, it's still this month. It feels so crazy because I feel like I just did it and it feels like a long time ago. But on May 1st, I had the opportunity to step on the infamous red dot, that we all know as the TEDx stage, and deliver a talk called The Audacity to Go Small. And let me tell you, if you have not watched the talk yet, first of all, do that, okay? Because I would definitely appreciate it. If you go to YouTube and type in Quinn Conyers or The Audacity to Go Small, it should pop up. It's 9 minutes and 14 seconds. Watch it, love it, appreciate it, comment it, right? So, I did that, and I knew that the reasons why I was able to get on big stages as a speaker, I knew that some of the clients that I was talking to, I knew some of the big moves that I made and were receiving opportunities didn't start big. So I decided to talk about it. And I did this TEDx talk. And let me tell you, for those of you who have watched and commented, thank you. I've been reading all the comments, I have been commenting on it, but there was I feel like a collective exhale from the business owners and entrepreneurs saying, thank you. Thank you, because I have been trying to figure out what's my next big move. And Quinn, what you just did for me is give me permission to go small, not play small, not shrink, but the idea of looking at the small things in your business and your life and being able to figure out how can I maximize and monetize what others are missing. So that's how this whole idea of the audacity to go small kind of came. This series is an extension of the TEDx talk, and I just saw a need, a hunger, a desire for people to have small strategies that can show up big in their business, in their life. So that's why I'm doing this. The TEDx talk was amazing, but reading the comments really allowed me reading the comments really allowed me to be intentional, about doing this. Sorry, I'm getting a call coming through. I'm trying to like, I can't talk right now. So doing that allowed me to really focus in on, okay, what are the small things that we can do that can really allow us to grow? So that's where I'm at. So what I'm going to be doing with this series is on Wednesdays. Why not? Like when Wednesdays are the time to win. Wednesdays are the time where I feel like we either shut down or we rev up. It's the middle of the week. So every Wednesday, as long as I'm not traveling on the road, I want to do small wins with Quinn, right? And in the summer, we're just going to have conversations. I'm going to give you tips, tools, and techniques, especially as a business owner, entrepreneur, speaker, someone who's building a personal brand and you're like, yeah, I'm exhausted. Yeah, big, go sit over in a corner. What are the little things that I can do? What are the small things that I can do that can show up in a massive way? That's what this is all about. So, I wanted to share that with you. And if you have a small win that you want to share, definitely put that in the comments. I'm going to ask you to do that shortly because I want to celebrate your small wins because small doesn't get the love that it deserves and desires. And we've given all the love, all the attention to the big things, but the small things are what lead to the big things. And I want to acknowledge that and I want to amplify that because there is a lot of pressures right now to really go big. All right. So shout out to Jen. Jen is absolutely amazing. She says I have Quinergy, which I appreciate. We are fast LinkedIn friends, and I always appreciate the conversations that we have in the inbox. So why am I doing this, and what can you get from this, and how can you apply small strategies to your business, your book, your brand to grow? Number one, I stood on that red dot, y'all. It was 9 minutes and 14 seconds that I delivered a talk called The Audacity to Go Small. And I just wanted to share my message, my idea worth sharing, which was simply that big has been a bully in our lives and how we need to tell big to have several seats and how we can use small strategically, take small steps that compound that can grow our businesses or our brands. Well, I did this talk in Pontiac, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit, right? And there was a superintendent in the audience, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I had somebody in mind that I wanted to be my commencement speaker, but after seeing your message, I really believe that high school students could benefit from making small moves as they transition from being a high school student to entering the real world." So that small 9 minutes and 14 seconds of me being on the TEDx stage landed me to a bigger stage as a commencement speaker. I share this with you because many of us are trying to jump, especially as speakers, to the bigger stages, but we haven't maximized and got our reps on the smaller stages. Because a lot of times, if you see a speaker, an entrepreneur, an innovator, a trailblazer, a pioneer that you like or love, or even a millionaire, 10 times out of 10, before you become a millionaire, a billionaire, or a trillionaire, you have to be a hundredaire. But people want to skip the hundredaire part, right? But I think that that's something that we have to take a lot of notice of because a lot of times we are being sloppy and messy because we're so focused on going big that we don't see the blessing that's right in front of us. So part of my duty beyond, elevating and amplifying events as an MC, as a speaker, I really want entrepreneurs to understand how small can really be advantageous to them. So there is a 3S test that I talk about in the TEDx talk. If you haven't already done that, go watch the TEDx talk. If you go to YouTube and type in the audacity to go small, it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You can watch it. So if you have an idea that you feel is small, you're not sure of, does it have legs? Will this small idea potentially lead to something big? Watch the talk and apply the 3S test to the idea or the decision that is kind of like rummaging around in your head. That's a great way to get started, okay? But I'm sharing this with you because I think, especially living in a society where social media, going live, is a big thing. And sometimes because we feel like we might not have anything big to share or big to post, that we don't. And here's what I know, that visibility beats ability any day. So there are people who are less talented, they're making less money, but they are doing amazing things because they're showing up. they're visible, they're doing the things, right? And it's not about, I got to go live every single day. But what if you went live once a week, once a month, right? Like taking those small steps. Whereas a lot of these social media gurus and influencers will have you posting 5 days a week and going live 3 times a week. And that's too much. It's overwhelming. So I want to encourage you to not be ashamed or not turn your nose up at the small things that can grow you as a business, as a personal brand, as an entrepreneur. So let's see what Jen's talking about in the comments, which I absolutely love. Jen says, preach. We are so busy going big, we miss the opportunity to go small. I love that. And Jen also loved when I had made the analogy about, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, made a t-shirt company out of it, because I know I was the one trying to go big all the time and I was exhausted, and big was leading to burnout. So my strategy has been, what are the small things that I can do that can incrementally build up my business, and how can I use that to grow? Okay. I love this as well. We got IKEA Sally who's joining us. She says, wow, I need to hear this today. Absolutely, girl. I am here for you, because at the end of the day, here is what I'm noticing. Here's what I'm seeing. Listen, y'all, we've heard it. There's riches in the niches. And I only had that 9 minutes and 14 seconds, but there was so much that I wanted to say that I just feel like I didn't have the time. So I was like, I gotta go live. I gotta talk about this. I gotta talk to the Portias of the world who says, ma'am, please get out of my business. Girl, we cut from the same cloth. I'm all up in your business, right? Because guess what? Your business is my business. And if it's happening to you, it didn't happen to me. That's why I'm talking about it, because we out here really trying to chase these big opportunities that we're overlooking the small opportunities. I remember talking to business owners about how they wanted to reach so many different individuals, and they had a whole line of women who are ready to do business. Like, well, I don't want to limit myself to women. I'm like, well, who's putting the credit card in your face? Who's swiping and paying the invoices? If you don't super serve these women and stop playing, you overlooking the women trying to reach everybody, right? One of the biggest things, and one of, I think, the blessings about going small and maximizing what others are missing, is simply this: it allows you to serve from a different standpoint. And if you're in business, you're an entrepreneur, your job is not just to sell something, your job is to serve something. And if you get so caught up in what can I sell and what can people buy from me, you miss it. But if you change your perspective, sell and serve, a small difference, they both start with S. But when you switch your mindset to how can I serve these individuals, you allow yourself to see things in a different way. And that's what I think is missing from capitalism in today's culture. Is it's like, how can I go big? How can I serve everybody? And maybe your product, your service isn't for everybody. It is absolutely for a person who really needs it. And that's where I want you to focus in on. So I wanted to share with you that me getting this opportunity to be a commencement speaker at a high school started from a stage that I wasn't even ready for. And that's the beauty of showing up small. When you show up small, you don't know who sees your smallness. You don't know who watches you. And by you showing up small and consistent and being visible can lead to the big opportunities. The big opportunities don't come to the individuals who show up and promote their business one big time. It's the person who's posting every single day, the person who's consistent 3 times a week, right? 2 times a week, something, whatever works for your rhythm and your cadence. And I think that if we looked into that, that can be leveraged in a way that we might be underestimating. So I want to keep this actually short and sweet. I shared with you that me doing a small talk for 9 minutes and 14 seconds on the TEDx stage led to a big opportunity. So guess what? After June 2nd, you will see my bio, whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook, updated. It will say TEDx speaker, conference MC, and you bet you I will be adding commencement speaker. And here's the thing: commencement is a small adjective that I'm using to describe speaker, but when people see commencement, it thinks, wow, she has done something big. She was able to speak to seniors as they enter their next phase. So sometimes the small things that you say yes to can create the bigger opportunities, but we're so looking forward to the big that we're saying no to the smaller stage. We're saying no to the 10-minute speaking opportunity. We're saying no to the panel discussion or being a panel person because we want the keynote spot, right? Especially if you're a speaker. But sometimes you sitting on that panel, sharing your thought process, sharing your expertise can get you the big main stage next year. So I really want to open your mindset to how small literally can be your superpower. Now, let me be crystal clear, right? Because I don't want you out here trying to shrink yourself or lower your standards. That's not what I'm saying. My I'm saying is, how can you strategically look at small? The same time, the same tension, the same energy that you were giving trying to go big, can you give that same energy, that same attention to detail on what are the small things in my business that I can be amplifying to show up more visibly? What are the small things in my brand that I can do that can do big results, right? Like, just look at your business, your product, your service, your coaching program, your social media strategy, and look at how can I look at this and what are some of the small things that I can add that can amplify what I do. All right. So, LinkedIn is one of my favorite platforms, right? Like, let's be clear. Let's be crystal clear. Out of all the social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn is the smaller one of the platforms. This is so crazy. I'm having this epiphany right now. I don't know what it is because I'm giving name to it now, but I've looked at my life and see how I've always been going small. I decided to focus my energy and my attention on LinkedIn. But here's the crazy part, Jen. Here's the crazy part, Portia. On LinkedIn, which is one of the smaller baby platforms of social media, I'm considered, which I think is crazy, to be a bigger brand because I have like what 17,000 followers, right? But 17,000 followers on Instagram or TikTok is like nothing. But 17,000 followers or connections on LinkedIn is something, right? So all these numbers, all these metrics are relative depending on how you look at it. The reason why I chose LinkedIn because there were people like Jen and Portia, who were on this platform who were serious about networking, connecting, and talking, to people of like-minded people. I wanted to have business conversations, not this is what I ate yesterday, right? Every now and then I do that, but I'm like, I'm a businesswoman. I want to connect. I want to work with meeting and event planners who are looking for a speaker like me or an MC like me. So I decided to put my effort, my attention into LinkedIn. So for the most part, this is where I spend most of my time. And I have a presence on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all those other stuff. But LinkedIn is the small platform I've used to grow my business in a big way. So when people ask me, well, how are you getting speaking engagements? How are you getting MC opportunities? I tell them I leverage LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the smaller of the platforms. So I just tell you that don't underestimate small, don't overlook small. I want you to give your business, your book, your brand, whatever you're doing, the 3S test. And again, if you have not watched my TEDx talk, please go to YouTube today after this and put in the audacity to go small and watch it, and you'll understand why I'm saying that small is not insignificant. Small is truly where significance begins. Okay, so y'all are having a ball in the comments, right? So Portia says, I'm saying yes to it all. Yes to small. Hashtag, I like that, Portia. Thank you so much. Jen says, what a great opportunity. And soon as I gave up on my TEDx being the primary goal, I still want it. I found smaller stages to shine on. Absolutely. I love that. Dorothy says, I'm falling in love with it. Thank you, Dorothy. I like it. I like it. I love it. So I want to hear from you, right? Because sometimes if the goal isn't big or the accomplishments isn't huge, then I will say that we overlook it. So I want to hear from you, Portia. I want to hear from you, Dorothy. I want to hear from you, Jen. I want to celebrate you. What small win have you accomplished in the week, in the month do you want to shout out? Because we don't shout out the small wins. We want to shout out when we get the big client, right? But what's the small client that you got that you're proud of, right? It could be as simple as I finished 2 chapters writing my book, whatever that is. I want you to write in the comments what has been your small win that we can celebrate you. Okay, go ahead and write that in the comments. Excuse me. All right. Thank you so much. Jen went ahead and put my YouTube link in the chat, which I appreciate. And I want to know from you right about now. Drop your small wins in for the week in the chat. What have you done? What have you accomplished? Was it an email? Was it a proposal? What small thing can we celebrate you on? I want you to drop it in the comments. And here's the thing, if you are catching us live, great. If you are catching the replay, that is okay as well. But I want you to go ahead and drop a comment on what you feel like was a small win that you can celebrate in a big way. That's what I want you to do right now. Go ahead and drop it in the comment. I will say this, that my small win is literally speaking and getting an opportunity to have someone see me speak and invite me to be a commencement speaker. I love that. All right, let's go ahead and celebrate Miss Dorothy Ward. Dorothy says, I started my book and I've been consistent with posting on LinkedIn. Miss Dorothy, we're going to applaud you. Congratulations. I absolutely love it, love it, love it. Okay. So, congratulations on that. Portia, we're coming to you. We're going to celebrate your small win in a big way. You actually got a call today from a nonprofit to potentially partner with them to facilitate a team building workshop. Come on, Portia. We're going to celebrate you. Congratulations. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Again, that is a great win. And you never know what big opportunities are going to come from that call and that conversation. We also have Jen. Jen says, I did market research for my book. I love it because guess what? We don't want to write a book and nobody's reading it. You got to do research. So, guess what, Jen? We are going to celebrate you winning on this Wednesday. We're going to give a round of applause to Jen. Congratulations. I absolutely love it. So we got Javon Jackson who just stepped in the building. Listen, y'all, if y'all don't know who Javon is, she is a powerhouse woman entrepreneur. She is absolutely amazing. And she is celebrating getting back to weekly planning. We're going to go ahead and celebrate her. Why? Because many entrepreneurs are out here winging it. We out here doing whatever, whenever, on whatever day. But planning, especially taking a small amount of time and planning what you're going to be doing on a weekly basis, can move your business in leaps and bounds, because sometimes as business owners we are procrastinating because we haven't planned. So taking a small chunk of your time or your day to plan out for a week, that is really, really good. Okay, I love it. All right, so Jen says, yes, go Quinn. I love it. Portia says, ma'am, this is a huge win. This clapper is amazing. But here, it's a jumbo clapper. You see my jumbo clapper? I love it. This jumbo clapper, I mean, it's my best friend. I love it. I think it's a great way to celebrate things. So I love it. So listen, y'all, I want to keep this short and sweet. If you are liking Small Wins with Quinn, I want you to continue to tune in. Next week, I'll be back. I'll have another topic for us to do, but also I want you to track your small wins. So when we come back next week at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, I want you to have another small win for me. We not gone are the days. We not waiting to pop out and show them. We gonna celebrate every milestone of this journey called business, called entrepreneurship. Because at the end of the day, this is not a destination. This is a journey that will keep going over and over again. And I just feel like we're doing our brain, our brilliance, and ourselves a disservice by waiting until the finish line for us to celebrate the win. The wins are small. The wins are incremental. The wins are the little things that you do over and over again that show up in a big way in your business. And here's the crazy thing. You never know when they're going to show up. They just do. So that's why you have to be focused on the small things that you're doing on a daily basis. That's what produces the big wins. So again, My name is Quinn Conyers. It's been my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure. I want to thank everyone who's joined me live. If you're catching the replay, I'm glad that you were able to catch the replay. I am starting this new series, an inspiration from my TEDx talk called The Audacity to Go Small, each and every Wednesday. And it's going to be called Small Wins with Quinn. I'm going to do this throughout the summertime. I'm going to talk about a couple different ways that you can utilize and look at the small things in your life, your business, your career, your relationships, even in your personal brand that you can leverage to grow in a big way. But more importantly, each and every week, I want you to bring your small wins to the live. I want you to drop those in the comments. And guess what? We will amplify you, we will recognize you, but more importantly, we will recognize and celebrate all the small things that you're doing as you're building something big in the background. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your winning Wednesday, and I will talk to you next week. Thank you so much.